There are songs that are not just heard, but felt deep within the soul. These songs go beyond beautiful lyrics or pleasant melodies. They are hymns born out of pain, hope, and the purest form of faith. They arise in the darkest moments, where the decision to follow Christ is not merely an option, but a desperate cry of total surrender. In these moments, music becomes more than just a collection of notes. It becomes a lifeline, a testimony, and a statement of faith that transcends time. In this video, we will journey into the heart of one such hymn that has marked the lives of millions. I have decided to follow Christ. This is not just a song, it is a profound declaration of faith so powerful that it has changed lives and inspired generations. Along the way, we will uncover the unknown details and hidden stories behind this powerful melody. And by the end, I assure you that your faith will never be the same. Before we dive into this incredible story, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you every time we upload a new video. Let's get started. There are songs that transcend time and space, leaving an indelible mark on those who sing them and hear them. These expressions are not merely empty confessions. They are deeply rooted in lived experiences and in a palpable reality that is reflected in every note and every verse. For many, hymns can seem like simple tunes, but those with profound meaning emerge from a place of deep struggle, endurance, and faith. In many congregations, hymns are heard that, though powerful in their lyrics, lack the personal experience behind the words. We hear songs about spreading the gospel, but how often do we actively share it with our closest neighbors? Hymns about working diligently for the Lord are sung, yet many fall into laziness or neglect in their everyday spiritual lives. Proclamations of love for Christ are made with the lips, but actions sometimes betray those very words. This brings us to a critical question. Do we really understand the depth of the songs we sing? One such hymn, I have decided to follow Christ, is emblematic of Christian commitment. The song is not just a composition, it is the manifestation of a life lived in complete surrender to its message. The words carry the weight of sacrifice and the testimony of one who lived out his faith in the face of unimaginable loss. To fully grasp the power of this hymn, we must travel back to the 19th century in India, a land of diverse cultures, religions, and ethnicities. Though Christianity had begun to take root in some regions, others remained untouched by the gospel. One such region was Assam, located in northeastern India, a place of untamed beauty with mist-shrouded mountains and rivers flowing through lush valleys. Despite its natural allure, Assam was a land entrenched in ancient traditions and polytheism, with its society deeply resistant to outside influences. In the midst of this hostile environment, a group of Welsh missionaries arrived in Assam in 1841, driven by a revival in Wales. These men, filled with compassion and a clear mission, sought to bring the message of Jesus Christ to those who had never heard it. Their journey was fraught with challenges, language barriers, constant threats of disease, and most of all, the deep animosity of local communities who viewed them as a threat to their traditions. Among the many tribes in Assam was the Garo tribe, a people whose religion was animistic, tied to their deep-rooted customs. The Garo tribe, like many others in the region, saw the Christian faith as a direct challenge to their beliefs and way of life. The missionaries who arrived to preach the gospel were often met with hostility, and many paid the ultimate price for their faith. Yet, in this difficult terrain, the seeds of faith were sown, and one family in particular embraced the message of Christ. A man named Noksing, a member of the Garo tribe, along with his family, converted to Christianity. The news of their conversion spread rapidly, and it reached the ears of the village chief, a man of great authority and respect. For the chief, Christianity was not just a foreign religion, it was a threat to the social and spiritual order of his village. He feared that if more people converted, it would lead to the dissolution of the community's traditions and his own power. Determined to stamp out this new faith, The chief ordered Noksing and his family to renounce their belief in Christ. The village gathered in the main square, and with his family's lives at stake, Noksing was given an ultimatum. If he did not recant, his children would be executed. Faced with this unimaginable decision, Noksing remained firm in his faith. He responded with words that would resonate across time. "I have decided to follow Christ. I am not going back." His children were executed before his eyes, but his faith did not waver. The chief, enraged and desperate to force Noksing to abandon his new faith, then threatened the life of his wife. Yet again Noksing stood strong, declaring, "Though none go with me, still I will follow." His wife too was killed before him, but still Noksing did not recant. Finally the chief, in a last effort to break Noksing's resolve, threatened his own life. With a final unshakable declaration, Noksing said, "The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back." With those words, Noksing was executed, joining his family in martyrdom. Though this family perished, their sacrifice was not in vain. Witnessing the unwavering faith of Noksing, the village chief was struck with deep conviction. He began to question the power that enabled a man to endure such suffering without renouncing his faith. In time, the chief himself converted to Christianity, declaring, "I too belong to Jesus Christ." This profound transformation led to a spiritual awakening in the village. As the chief shared his new faith, many others in the community also embraced Christianity. What began as one family's stand for their faith led to the conversion of an entire village, and from there, the gospel spread throughout the region. The hymn, "I Have Decided to Follow Christ," was born out of this story. The words are not simply poetic, they are a direct reflection of the personal sacrifice and steadfast faith of Noksing and his family. The melody and lyrics encapsulate the heart of what it means to follow Christ, even when faced with the ultimate cost. Over the years, this hymn has inspired countless believers around the world. Its simple yet profound message speaks to the core of Christian discipleship. The decision to follow Christ is not just a one-time choice, but a lifelong commitment, no matter the cost. The story behind the hymn is a reminder that the journey of faith is often marked by trials and tribulations, but it is through these hardships that true faith is refined. The hymn has been sung in churches, homes, and gatherings across the globe. It has become a symbol of unwavering faith and a call to all believers to remain steadfast in their commitment to Christ, even in the face of persecution and adversity. As we sing the words, "I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back," we are reminded of the sacrifice that Noksing and his family made and of the countless others who have given their lives for their faith. Their legacy lives on in the words of this hymn, inspiring new generations to take up their cross and follow Christ. The story of "I Have Decided to Follow Christ" is a profound one, filled with courage, faith, and sacrifice. It begins with the words spoken by a martyr, whose unwavering decision to follow Christ, even in the face of death, became the heart of a hymn that has since captured the spirit of his sacrifice. The simple yet powerful declaration, "I have decided to follow Christ, I will not turn back," echoes through time as a testimony of total surrender and devotion. This hymn, which originated in India, spread throughout the churches of the world, resonating deeply with believers who found in its words a source of strength and inspiration. The hymn's origin is rooted in a profound act of faith. In the 19th century, a man named Noksing, living in the Assam region of India, made a life-altering decision to follow Jesus Christ. His conversion to Christianity in a predominantly hostile region was a dangerous one, as Christianity was seen as a threat to the established cultural and religious norms. The local chief, disturbed by Noksing's decision, arrested him and his family, demanding that they renounce their newfound faith. Faced with the possibility of death, Noksing refused, declaring with boldness, "I have decided to follow Christ. I will not turn back." The chief, infuriated by his defiance, ordered the execution of Noksing's children. Yet even in the face of such a great personal loss, Noksing stood firm in his faith. With tears in his eyes but unshaken in his resolve, he declared, "Even if no one joins me, still I will follow." The chief then executed Noksing's wife, yet still Noksing did not waver. His final words, "The cross before me, the world behind me, no turning back," sealed his fate, and he too was killed. This act of supreme faith did not go unnoticed. The chief, moved by Nokseng's unshakable belief, began to question the power behind such a faith. In a remarkable turn of events, the chief himself converted to Christianity, and his decision sparked a revival in the entire village. What had started as a man's ultimate sacrifice led to the transformation of an entire community. The words spoken by Nokseng as he faced death became immortalized in the hymn, "I Have Decided to Follow Christ." What began as a personal testimony of one man's commitment to Christ grew into a global anthem of faith, sung by believers across the world. The hymn has since become a source of strength, particularly for persecuted Christians who face challenges to their faith. In India and beyond, this simple yet powerful song is a rallying cry for those who choose to follow Christ, no matter the cost. For many believers, this hymn is not just a song but a declaration of faith. It is sung in church services, at prayer gatherings, and even in moments of personal reflection. The message it carries is one of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to Christ. The hymn's global reach is a testament to its powerful message. It has been translated into numerous languages and is sung by Christians in some of the most difficult and dangerous places to live out their faith. For example, an Open Doors supporter from Laos, where Christians face persecution, shares how this hymn resonates deeply with him. Despite the risks he faces daily, he helps fellow believers with spiritual and practical support. "I decided to follow Christ because he gives me hope," he says. "I only found hope in him, so I decided to give my life to him." His words mirror those of Nokseng, highlighting the enduring nature of the hymn's message. Similarly, at a memorial service in Sri Lanka 2 years after the tragic 2019 Easter Sunday attacks at Zion Church, the words of this hymn were sung by a children's choir. Despite the trauma and loss that the community still feels, the song was a powerful reminder of resilience. The pastor leading the service acknowledged the pain still experienced by those who survived, but also reminded everyone that true comfort can only come from God. The choir's rendition of "I Have Decided to Follow Christ" in both English and Tamil served as a testament to the enduring faith of persecuted Christians, even in the face of unimaginable hardship. In another part of the world, in Nepal, 3 sisters named Anisha and her siblings experienced their own trials when they decided to follow Christ. Upon accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior, they were placed under house arrest by their parents for 6 years. Their family eventually expelled them as they refused to renounce their faith. Despite the painful cost of their decision, the sisters continued to sing the hymn with conviction, "I'm not going back." Their story reflects the hymn's message of standing firm in faith, no matter the opposition. Today, persecution against Christians is spreading across nations. More than 360 million Christians around the world face high levels of persecution and discrimination for their faith. In many countries, believers are imprisoned, tortured, and even killed simply for following Christ. Yet despite these circumstances, the words of "I have decided to follow Christ" continue to inspire and empower Christians around the globe. For these believers, following Jesus is not just a one-time decision, it is a lifelong journey of faith that endures in the face of trials. The hymn reminds us that faith in Jesus is not just about convenience or comfort. It calls for total surrender, a willingness to sacrifice everything, including our own lives, for the sake of Christ. The words of the martyr who first spoke them, and the countless others who continue to sing them, challenge us to consider our own faith. Are we willing to follow Christ, no matter the cost? In Hebrews 11, the Bible recounts the lives of many who have endured persecution for their faith. Though many of them remain anonymous, their stories of faithfulness and endurance echo through time, just like Nokseng's. Today, countless Christians suffer in silence, with little attention given to their plight in the global news cycle. Yet they stand firm, singing the same hymn that has encouraged so many before them. When Christians in India, Laos, Nepal, and around the world sing, "I have decided to follow Christ," they remind us of the cost of discipleship and the faithfulness of God. The hymn is not just a melody, It is a proclamation of faith and commitment. It rekindles the flame of devotion and inspires believers to press forward, no matter what challenges they face. In a world filled with distractions, pressures, and temptations, I have decided to follow Christ, stands as a beacon of hope and a reminder that true faith does not bend in the face of adversity. It calls each of us to live a life of total surrender to Christ, trusting that the ultimate reward is eternal life with Him. Each time we sing this hymn, we join the legacy of believers who have gone before us, proclaiming that we too have decided to follow Christ. No turning back, no turning back.